This is too much. I can't do this.
I took you here for a reason. I can't deal with this.
I can't do it like that. Tell me not to do it, but I did it. I'm not
Listen, hey, would you listen to me for a second? Just listen to me. Why? What's your problem?
Have you ever been in a relationship that didn't go well? How about the one you're in right now? Is it working for you? How about someone you care about and their relationship with someone else? Does it hurt just to watch them be together? In this short video, I'll show you 3 kinds of relationships. 2 that are high maintenance and 1 that isn't. I'm Dr. Peter Robbins. Please subscribe, like us, and tell a friend. Being in relationships is tricky at best. Do you feel like you're growing in yours? Do you feel like your partner brings out the best in you? You should, you know, if you're in the right kind of relationship. Allow me to share with you 2 very different relationships that you could find yourself in. The first kind of relationship has 2 versions of what I call high maintenance relationship. The first version is where 2 people are very dependent on each other, very needy. Looks like this. Now, once you get into one of these relationships, it's very difficult to get out. And while presenting in a seminar on this topic, I actually have couples physically get into this style of relationship where they're leaning on each other. It's very difficult to sustain for more than 30 seconds. Talk about high maintenance, this is exhausting. Now, the second version looks a lot different than the first version. It looks like this. And what's obvious is this one here, it looks very needy, which is obvious, it looks a lot like that. But this one here is deceiving. This one looks strong, looks together, looks like the leader. But in reality, this one is just as needy as this one. Because this one here has a strong need to be needed. And this one here reminds me of my dating years when I was attracted to women that needed me more than I needed them. For 2 reasons. It put me in control of the relationship, number 1. And number 2, it protected me from being rejected, from being hurt. But it was even worse than that. This second version of a high maintenance relationship breeds low self-esteem. And here's how. When someone needs you more than you need them, do you need to treat them fairly? Do you? Can you get away with being disrespectful or even abusive? Sure you can. They'll put up with mistreatment because where else are they going to go? They're not going to leave me. They need me too much. So I can get away with treating them badly. But what happens to me? Well, I may not admit it to myself, but how can I feel good about myself when I mistreat others? You can't. So being in this kind of relationship takes its toll on my self-esteem, not just my partner's. We both end up going nowhere. It really becomes an unfulfilling and empty relationship over time. And here's a final thought on this version of a high maintenance relationship. It's pretty seductive to be needed so much, to be someone's everything, for about 3 months, and then it becomes overwhelming. Oh my gosh, it's hard enough to take care of myself, much less be your everything. Now let's look at some common dynamics between these 2 versions of high maintenance relationships. The foundation of both of these relationships is based on need. They both need each other in their own special way, and it's really the glue that keeps them together. Now, another aspect of these types of relationship is that neither partner can grow. In fact, growth is a threat to the relationship. Think about it. If you choose to go to college, get a better job, get better friends, then you may not need me as much, and that threatens our relationship. It threatens me. You might find someone better than me. So I try to persuade you not to, or worse yet, forbid you to seek higher education, get a better paying job, or find better friends. I'll threaten to leave you if you do. And at a minimum, I'll try to undermine your efforts. Now the result is we don't grow as a relationship or as individuals. But you know, there is a better way. A second type of a relationship. The second type of relationship is what I call low maintenance relationships. It's easy and has a very different foundation. In fact, it's based on want. Now, we all have a need for each other in a general sense, but this relationship is not based on need. What does that mean? Well, in this relationship, you have to be wantable. That means you have to treat me right. And if you don't, guess what? I'm gone. I'm out of here. Because I don't need you and certainly don't need to be mistreated. Now, being in a low maintenance relationship or a wantable relationship means we're not afraid of growth. In fact, the more we grow as individuals, the more we grow as a relationship. Rather than being threatened by growth, we encourage each other to grow, to become better, to be better, and to do better. Now let's look at these three types of relationship and see how the top two differ from the bottom one. These relationships on the surface tend to be very intense, very passionate. They have lots of ups and downs and lots of drama. Their sex is intense, but so are their fights. They look like they have true intimacy, but they really don't. Now, these folks here are not usually that intense or passionate. They can be at times, but not usually. But their level of true intimacy is dramatic. It's deep, it's constant, and it's reliable. And if you're coming from here, these relationships can be misunderstood as boring because there's not a lot of drama. It takes more vulnerability to live here than it does here. These folks live in a world of mistrust. Trust rules supreme here. One final note on these relationships here. These folks can visit here from time to time. For example, a couple may experience the loss of a child and they have to lean on each other very heavily. Sometimes a spouse may lose her job and so she has to lean on her husband. The key is that these folks merely visit this area. They don't live here. These folks have made this their home. They're afraid to leave here, and they're tired and they're unfulfilled. So what kind of relationship are you in? Is it bringing out the best in you? Are you doing the same for your partner? If you find yourself in a needy relationship, there's hope for change. But change won't happen without effort. If we can be of any help, please give us a call or visit our website for free assistance. In another video, I'll share with you how you can move from here to here and realize the relationship you've always wanted. I'm Dr. Peter Robbins with your Love and Money Makeover.